So this is shaping. This is shaping a sit, where you wait for the dog to offer the behavior and you reward the behavior. So we're not teaching the dog to sit with words. We're actually rewarding the natural behavior, because the sit, a down, stay, retrieve, these are all genetic behaviors. So this means that the dog already has them in them, and whoever it was some time ago came along and gave it a word, but the dog naturally does sit and naturally goes into a lay down position. The dog naturally retrieves. It's just an exaggerated behavior that the wolves as well display, where they, or any other animal in the animal kingdom, where they retrieve, go out, get a kill, and retrieve, bring back the kill to their families, to their puppies, to their cubs, to whatever else other animals that they're dealing with. So it is a natural behavior. So that's what you call a genetic behavior. So we're shaping it. So we're waiting for the pup to give us the behavior. We're going to click it, verbally mark it, which at the moment is just the clicker, marking it, and then reward it. So the dog is driving the reward. So you hear that click at the moment, so that's just to grab his attention, to get him to come back over. He sits, the clicker goes off, and he gets a piece of food. He's only 7 weeks of age. He's a pocket bully. His name is Asgard. And he's learning a few behaviors. Now the reason why as well I've set up the box the way it is that I don't have to be in there with the dog for now, so that lessens the amount of distractions that the dog is going to go through, because if I go in there he's going to get all happy, jumping on me, and those are some other behaviors that we are going to deal with later on in life, and not right away, so we don't have to deal with too many things at the one time. So these little training sessions are going to be kept very short, but constant. There's lots of them, so there's about 10-15 of these throughout the day, 2-3 minutes at a time, and that's how the dog is going to learn very much. So once you teach the sit, we can teach a down, and then from down we can teach a stand, and then we start putting all the behaviors together. We can go like with a sit, down, stand, down, sit, down. So, but we got to teach everything individually, and at the moment that's what we're doing, is 1 week at a time, teaching one thing, and then the next week will be something else, until that dog has got it 100%. Asgard, sit. There he goes. So here we are. A little pocket bully. So, butt on the ground, click, food. And there we go. So he's driving the reward as well. When I mentioned that he's driving the reward, that means that the dog is offering the behavior. So if you'd put it, say, for example, right, you've got two dogs sitting at the park, they're having a bit of a chat, and they go, hey, I've got my owner so trained, all I've got to do is put my ass on the ground and it makes the treat come out. So that's what we mean. Some people might call that an active dog that drives the reward, or where you've got a reactive dog, which is the reward that drives the behavior. So with any training that you're really doing, you don't want to drive the behavior, you want the behavior to drive the reward. It sounds very similar, but it's different. There's a big difference in the end of it. Aesthetically, it's better, it's more pleasing when the dog is offering the behavior and you're just rewarding it, rather than asking it to do something. The sit looks different, it looks perfect, it's completely different cup of tea. Yep, anytime. Sit. Coda, out.
Sit. Sit.
So here he is now sitting on command. There's no more clicker. We're not shaping the behavior anymore. So he's sitting on command. And this has been filmed at exactly the same time as the bit just before this was filmed out. So this has taken him about 3 or 4 days to get the sit on command. Are you charging me, buddy? Good boy. So this is a good thing. So this as well, I will reward that. He missed it though. So like I was saying before about the active dog, he gives us the behavior and we will reward it. So he's trying to drive the reward now.
Sit.
So now he's sitting. So what that means that if I sit, makes the treat come out. If I sit, makes the treat come out. And then eventually the food disappears as well, just like the clicker did. And this just becomes a natural approach for the dog. So when he sees a human being, what does he do? He sits, he doesn't jump on them. So it becomes the default setting for approaching a human is to sit and not to jump on them. And thus we're removing an unwanted behavior simply by teaching him that when you see a human, you sit. So rather than correcting a dog from jumping on you, we teach him to sit. And it's easier to teach a dog what you want it to do rather than correct it for something that he has no idea in the first place is not supposed to be doing. Dogs jumping up as well. I know we've heard we've heard heaps of times that it's a dominant behavior. It's not a dominant behavior, it's called a learnt behavior. When they're puppies, we pick them up, everybody does it. So we've conditioned them that when you see a human, they pick you up, they come up and they jump up on you. It's something that they know how to do as well. So it's enjoyable for them. They like doing it. They get a pat. When they're puppies, it's all cute. And who's going to tell a puppy not to jump on them? So it's a conditioned behavior. So the best way to do that, to get that out of their repertoire completely, is to teach the dog to sit. Good boy. So when the dog approaches you, you give him food. So again, we're talking about treats, but it's actually food. So it's actually their meal. Hand feed all my dogs. I've been doing this for like the last 4 or 5 years. I own 33 dogs. I do hand feed them. So you can't say that you've got 1 or 2 dogs and it's a pain in the butt to sort of hand feed, because you have no idea. Hand feed, feed,
Sit.
train, solve a lot of issues all at the same time. And here he is, Asgard, 7 weeks of age, pocket bully, sitting on command on day 3. Very, very fast learner.
Sit.
Look at that. What a beauty. An absolute beaut. Alright, cheers, gents. Ladies and gents, cheers for tuning in. Thank you, Suzette, for allowing me to post this video.